Hello, welcome or welcome back. I wanted to come on and talk about a message that came through from today's frequency. Today's frequency involves the constellation Scutum, the shield, and the piano key D sharp 1 or E flat 1. When we think about a shield, we mainly think about a weapon of war. You carry it into battle, you wear it on your left arm, and it protects you from enemy swords and arrows and other weapons. But there is a secondary meaning of shield. A shield is an emblem of a royal house or a noble house. So it's equivalent of a corporate brand. So the message that came through with this is a reminder that your soul has a noble lineage. Your soul is noble. Before you were born, you were already connected with power, with important things, with an inherent worthiness. This reminds me there are so many movies where the premise is that a prince or a space alien or well-trained secret agent arrives in some place and has to pretend to be an ordinary person and pass as a regular person in that location in order to accomplish whatever thing they're trying to do in the plot of the movie. For some reason, I'm thinking of Kindergarten Cop, where Arnold Schwarzenegger is a secret agent and he ends up having to pose as a kindergarten teacher and get along with these very young children while he's investigating some sort of thing that he needs to find out about as a secret agent. So there are, of course, plenty of other movies with similar storylines. So that's where we are in our lives. We are important beings who came from some other context to pretend to be ordinary people on this planet. And we have to maintain that pretense and go through the game of this incarnation of being a human on Earth. But it's okay to remember that we came here from somewhere else and that we were already someone important before we arrived here. I wanted to talk about some reasons that you might have brushed aside this line of thinking in the past. The first reason is obviously we don't really know in much detail what our souls were up to before we were born. That memory was intentionally suppressed so that in this lifetime we're focused on who we are and what we're doing in this lifetime, and we don't remember in detail why we decided to come here. But it's okay to celebrate our nobility even if we don't remember it in detail. And my personal belief is that when you can't remember those details of what you were doing before you were born, it is perfectly okay to make up your own version of the story. You can do it in fun. You can know that it's not the true ultimate story, but if you make up a story and that story feels right to you, then it has the right energy for who you are, who you were before you were born. And the energy is more important than the details of the story. So another reason you might not want to think about yourself as a noble soul is just the legacy of concentrated power in our own history. People who have held wealth and power have often or usually used that in ways that harmed other people. This is not a slippery slope. You might have heard there's a slippery slope of feeling your power and then all of a sudden you're an evil overlord and abusing everyone around you. But the truth is that people like you and me want to serve, want to see what's best for everybody in the world. We can safely set aside this fear that too much power is going to turn us into someone bad. And there's this other thing that thinking of yourself like secretly important, that sounds like something a narcissist would do or someone with delusions of grandeur. But the thing is, you're not using this to set yourself above other people to avoid dealing with them as equals. I think I want to draw a couple of oracle cards just to see if there's any other information about this message. I have the Soul Coaching oracle cards from Denise Lynn. So the Simplicity card is telling us to look to what's essential in ourselves, in our lives, make things less complicated or avoid making them more complicated. The value comes from who you are rather than all the assets you have or the tools you have, the things you can bring to bear in a situation. The real power, the value comes from inside yourself because you were born with it. Next, we have the Sacred Creators Oracle. You are living poetry is the card. So this means you are inherently a work of art, that there is a beauty and elegance inside you that you want to bring forth and express through the medium of your life. So your life is meant to be a work of art, and that is actually your primary purpose rather than your life being just a means to accomplish some, for example, some things that might be good for the world. One more card, and this is from the Elemental Oracle. The equator is the card, and this is a play on words. The equator is the line that divides the northern and southern hemispheres of the planet, but the card is a reminder that all people are equal. So you are not trying to make yourself superior to others. At the same time, you want to just avoid comparing yourself to others. You don't need to measure up on anyone else's terms. One of the reasons to remember your nobility is just to reassert your sovereignty, to say that you are making decisions for yourself, that you are important enough that your needs and values need to be taken into account, and that you don't have to live up to standards that come from someone else, that you are free and powerful enough to set your own course in life, to follow your own values and goals, and to live by the standards that you decide are important. So we started with the card Simplicity, and this is reminding us to remove what's not needed and get back to the basics. And the basics in this case are who you inherently are, your self, your identity, your soul as expressed in your human form. And why do you want to express that? Because you are a work of art or poetry. So you want to organize your life in a way that brings out the essence of who you are. And what won't help in that effort is comparing yourself to anyone else, because no one else has your essence inside. No one else is going to express themselves in the same poetic form that you are going to express yourself. So there's no point in comparing your accomplishments or your skills or any other thing about yourself to anyone else. All right, well, I hope this sheds some light on the message of the constellation Scutum. I hope this was helpful. I will see you in the next one.